I want to start the episode by saying this was really hard to film. I've been pushing it off for a week. I haven't been feeling well, and it's been really hot. I also lost my keys for 3 days. My keys to my car, and I don't have a spare, so I was freaking out. I was doing school. I just finished a book called The Secret Wisdom of Nature, and it's very interesting. Talked about the relationship that ravens and wolves have. I didn't know about. You can get the book on the Apple bookstore or something like that. It's pretty cheap right now, so go do it. Listen to it so we can talk about it. I really enjoyed it. Sorry. But yeah, I have had a hard time trying to film this episode. I've been at it over and over again for over a week now, trying to figure out how to talk about the main topic for this episode, and also feeling disqualified. I really appreciate everybody that I reached out to help me gain some insight and some courage to talk about it. So more on that later. We're going to end up doing multiple episodes about this topic, and it's going to be a recurring theme of the podcast. So look forward to it. Enjoy. Thanks for being here. And welcome to RepTalk episode 12.
It's RepTalk. It's RepTalk, the podcast.
So, first, dude, what's new with me? I lost my keys for 3 whole days. I was tripping out. I was almost going to cry. I don't have a spare, and I just felt like I bought my whole car and for nothing, because all the money I have to spend is going to go to the Reptile shows, to like reinvesting before the Reptile shows that are coming right up. And now I'm like, I got to spend all this money on my keys, get new keys. I was tripping. I was upset. Luckily, I did find my keys outside the tent in the garage behind some boxes. So shouts out to my stepmom for that one. The book was pretty good. Book I read was good. It is by some German author who translated it to English and used some American language rather than like German stuff, because like we have a forest here, they have a forest here, there, and it's easier for us to know what he's talking about when he talks about Yellowstone and shit like that. So talked about the wolves and the ravens, which was very interesting. I had no idea that wolves and ravens had like a symbiotic relationship. And so the ravens will lead the wolves to a carcass, and the wolves will feed on the carcass, scare the other small animals away, and allow the ravens to feed with them. And the ravens will alert the wolves when a larger predator is coming, and the wolves will teach their babies that the ravens are not food, and that the little baby wolves will play with the ravens. Isn't that so cute? I had no idea. So I was doing more research for the show, and I also found another symbiotic relationship that was very cute. It's between this lesser back Colombian tarantula and the spotted humming frog in the Andes Mountains in Peru. So this team of biologists went to Peru in order to study the feeding habits of these tarantulas. And what they witnessed was a bunch of little frogs hanging out with the tarantulas, and the tarantulas weren't eating them. And occasionally the frog will hide underneath the tarantula. So the way that they benefit each other is the frog lives in the burrow that the tarantula digs and protects its eggs from the ants and insects that come in to eat the boluses and the eggs. And in turn, the spider will also protect the frog from larger predators that are afraid of spiders, like me and you. So it's just very cute. The frog has a little layer of like toxic secretion on his skin that the spiders don't like the taste. And so even when the spiders do pick up the frogs, they just put them right back down. Don't hurt them or anything. So we got a bunch of pictures that these people took. I even have a video of a freaking frog riding on top of a tarantula. Isn't that the best thing in the world, dude? Aren't you guys so stoked? What the hell? That's so cute. Before we get too far into the episode, I want to do a little shout out to my guy. The sponsor for the episode is Central Valley Reptile Expo once again. Fresno Fairgrounds, June 4th and 5th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Get tickets with the link in the bio. You can get them for 25% off right now if you go get them right now. There's going to be vendor supplies, breeders from across the country, breeders from across the country. Animal presentations, adoption events, low-cost supplies. I'm going to be there. All my friends are going to be there. You'll be able to meet a bunch of people that are into the reptile industry already, have a foot in the door, and get your foot in the door easy by buying a booth. I'm not sure if they're still available, but if they are, they're relatively cheap, and you can make a decent amount of money by renting your booth and selling your art or your animals or your supplies. You can paint little gecko hides on there. You can make freaking canvases, stickers, hats, merch, t-shirts, everything. You can make stuff for dogs. There's going to be a whole nother show for little furry pets in the next warehouse or venue over. So you can come here, get everything. So let's look at the list of vendors, and that'll give you a better idea. When you go to the link in the bio and click on the vendors tab, the picture you see is my friend. Well, it's the show, but on the guy on the right with the snake on his neck and the mask on, that's Victor from Vexotic Me, and he was right next to me at that last show. So the booth that you see right next to his friend, that the little girl in the yellow shirt is looking at, that's my booth. That's like day 2, so it's kind of empty. But you can see my little business card right there, my little cups on the table. I must be standing right behind Victor or something, so you can't see me, but scroll down and you can see the list of vendors that are going to be there. There's a few people that you can click on their website. I know most of these people. If I don't know them personally, I've seen them, and if I haven't seen them, then I don't know. There's a couple people that I just don't know, so I'll admit it. American Crickets, you can go there, get crickets from this dude. Bob's Oddballs, Boyo's Exotics. Let's see what they have. I think that they have like certain geckos, certain like specialized in geckos. Chris Silviera Reptiles has ball pythons. Dean's Reptiles and Rodents. They're going to have frozen rodents, live rodents, so you can feed your snakes on cheap budget. Dubia On Demand, Erisa Spider Shop, Frogs Direct, Fumi Pets, GeckBro, which is not exactly correct, but I'm not going to hate. Everybody says that. That's me. Good Life, I'm not GeckBro, but I'm GeckBro, and it's just a little typo there. I'm not tripping. Good Life Geckos, Highlighter Chameleons, J&W Reptiles, JFK Dragons, Jim's House of Retics, and finally, we get to Lick Your Eyeballs, who I believe is the first lady on the list. And we'll go down MS Farms, Millipedes, and more. Morph Balls, Mystic Butterfly, which is just some dude selling butterfly art. New Age Reptiles, R&R Branches, Real Reptiles, Reptile and Reef, Reptile Den. Reptile Mania is my friend Cindy. Rockabirdie is a couple. Rosie Woods, Rude Dog Reptiles, S&G Reptiles, Severin Wonders, Sinister Exotics. The rest of them that I don't know a lot of these people, Woody's Pets and Zoomed Laboratories. So 2 out of all the people that are on this list I know are ladies, and that's not a lot. And we're going to talk about that some more today. The lack of representation of women in the reptile industry, and I think it's a problem that I want to talk about. I want my girlfriend to be in reptiles. I want my niece to be in reptiles. And I feel like the lack of representation for women is kind of a big issue. And when I talk about the topic, I know that some people are going to say, well, I haven't seen that happen, and it's not really an issue for me. And I think that if everyone was to see it happen, or it was an issue for everybody, it wouldn't be a problem. Does that make sense? And it would be a lot easier to solve. So today we're talking about misogyny in the reptile industry and herpetology as a whole. So when you think of, like I just did, when you think of all the top reptile industry people, like, they're all guys. I can fucking name them off, but I'm not really going to right now. You got everybody. Everybody's a guy. I don't think of, not one lady comes right to the top front of my mind when I think of the guys that are on the top. Not the guys, but the people that are on the top, you know? And so that is because of, like, preconceived gender stereotypes that have kind of carried over from past generations, and the lack of women representation has caused the hobby to take like a more masculine form. So when you look on Instagram or on social media, you'll notice a lot of the guys that are popular have like big, huge muscles, or you have to be like macho or strong, you know. You don't think of someone like looks like me, or even like you wouldn't think of a lady, you know. You're thinking of some dude that can jump on top of an alligator and have no problem wrestling it to the ground. And sometimes that's not all it takes, you know, just a little bit of technique and the right attitude. You can take down any alligator, in my opinion. So we're going to talk about it. I want to say in advance that it was really hard for me to film this episode. I've been pushing it off. I tried to just not even do it altogether, but I'm feeling like it's very important that I do it because of I'm so close to these women. So historically, herpetology has been a male-dominated field. An analysis of authorship from 1970s to 2000 would show that 15%, like tops, of the herpetology studies were authored by women. And that's like a really low number. But since then, it's doubled, which is also not a good number. So we've got like 70-30 in 2022, something like that. Maybe a little bit more, but I wouldn't be generous with my estimations personally. And I think that it's just sort of like a natural escalation, not really having anything to do with like the problem changing, in my opinion. I think that just because of the preconceived gender stereotypes sort of having less ground in the 21st century leads to more women taking these roles in these STEM fields like science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And herpetology is included in that because it is a scientific field. Has been dominated by men for a long time. So that leads to the limited role models that I was talking about. There's not a lot of women in the herpetology industry in general. You can think of a few, like, I feel bad. I can't even think of Steve Irwin's wife's name. Bindi Irwin and his daughter, and then there's a few ladies out there that I like, but I just can't think of a lot. And I mean, if you can, then good for you, but I don't think everybody else is thinking the same thing. So that leads to a lack of representation, a lack of shared experience between women, and makes this hobby seem more masculine. And that's just what it is. Like, we already agreed that it's a masculine hobby in the first place. Like, it's much more typical to see a huge guy holding a giant snake than a little girl holding a giant snake, you know? And because of the preconceived gender stereotypes, like girls would be too scared of a snake. Some people I've heard say that girls care too much about animals to like breed on them or be efficient enough in a breeding facility. And then another idea is like maybe they wouldn't be able to protect themselves against a large animal. And so that would lead to a lack of experience because of the preconceived gender stereotypes. Maybe you get hired and you're put into these roles where you aren't experiencing everything. Like, so for example, I worked in a breeding facility professionally, and I was able to get a full round of everything. I learned basically everything that we did there. I know everything that happens in that facility. And I know every girl that came in there never once did crickets or took the eggs out of the knobtail boxes, or like certain things like that were like really meticulous, but also maybe considered dirty that people maybe didn't want to do. But at the same time, like, I don't think anybody wants to do them. And it's an experience that, I mean, doing the crickets taught me how to breed crickets. Now I know how to breed crickets and do it really efficiently, and also how to clean the boxes really efficiently. And I know that those girls haven't had that experience, maybe wouldn't know that. When I go to get a job, if I have 5 of my buddies with me and we all did crickets, and I have 5 girls that didn't do crickets, who's going to get hired at the freaking next building where we're all going to do crickets at, you know? And it goes over to more stuff than just crickets. I was using that as a very broad example. I can talk about like the wage gap that was also in that facility. Like, the person that trained me wasn't even getting paid as much as I was after a few months. And then they had to retrain people that had been working there way longer than they were and still weren't getting paid as much as those people. So in the long run, I know women that dropped out of these professional facilities because of the wage gap and because of basically sexist and misogynist situations. At some point, I was wanting to switch to a job that was taking photos and doing inventory. And the girl that was doing that wanted to switch to my job, which was like feeding geckos and collecting the eggs and breeding them. And we weren't able to switch for whatever reason. And at the time, I didn't chop it up to misogyny, but I mean, at this point, I don't really give that company the benefit of the doubt anymore. So who knows? I certainly don't, but I'm just throwing it out there. The lack of experience causes a lack of opportunity, like we kind of talked about with just a minute ago, and will cause some women to drop out of the herpetology field altogether, like we talked about with the wage gap. Other things like the harassment, and it makes it harder for women to make a successful career out of herpetology. And so even when they do, they're surrounded by men. When a woman is surrounded by men, like, some of the men are going to think she doesn't know what she's talking about, or she's less capable than them, which isn't the case, obviously, because she's in the same room, you know? So, just frustrating. It's just harder for women. Can we all just admit it and just move on to the next thing? So even women that do make it through all this, decide that they're going to pursue this passion anyway, regardless of all the walls that they're going to have to climb up that I don't have to. Female creators on Instagram specifically are, harassed to like no extent. It needs to stop. So I know some women that prefer not to reveal their faces on their social media because they're trying to avoid the harassment, like not even just like the memes and shit that people post, but like literally dick pics in their DMs and shit. Like, I'm not trying to speak for women, but in support of women. And that was one of the issues I had doing this show in the first place. So even women that do identify themselves online in the herpetology community, reptile industry, on Instagram or wherever else, face harsh criticism and sort of a concentrated amount of hate. Can we look at it like this? There's a lot of men. There's a whole bunch of men. There's a whole lot of them. And there's a little bit of women. So, like, take a little portion of the men that are misogynist, and they probably still outnumber the women. So it's like the women that are in our field are receiving a concentrated amount of hate. There's a lot of shit that is like put on these women's shoulders, and they have to have really tough skin in order to stay in the hobby, and especially any male dominated field. These women have to have tough skin. So shit like this does not help. I saw DW Exotics. Well, I was talking to some women in order to get a better perspective and insight for this video. And this was mentioned more than once, and I wasn't sure what it was until I saw it for myself. This guy posted this meme, and it's offensive, and he turned the comments off. So he knows it's offensive. And let's talk about why it's offensive. It's meant to make women feel shameful about their bodies. And even if they were doing these things, that's what the point is. It's meant to make them feel shameful about those actions. And even if they're not, it's the same thing. Like, that's the issue that I have with it. It's not funny. It's sexist. It's an idiot thing to post. The fact that he turned his comments on and left the post up. The fact that some people that I know liked it and follow this guy. I would urge you to unlike this post and maybe think about what you did and how you view women in our hobby yourself. And my other point is, like, dude, women should be able to feel comfortable and feel happy, especially in our field and especially with their pets. And they shouldn't have to be worried about DW Exotics coming after them. So these women that do come out, they have to face the harsh criticism and a concentrated amount of hate. So I was able to talk to a lot of ladies in my community of reptile breeders and keepers on Instagram, and I was able to gain a really good insight, and a lot of them were very helpful and sent me their personal experiences with the misogyny and herpetology. I don't want to overwhelm you guys, but we're going to touch on that in a future episode where I can prepare better and maybe have a lady here to talk with me about it, because I'm still feeling a little bit like I'm not going to be able to do justice. And I'm not a girl either. So where is my how am I qualified to speak about this? So we're going to touch back on it and back on it and back on it and back on it. We're going to come back to this topic a bunch of times. So go to frickin' Central Valley Reptile Expo in Fresno. Say what's up to Audra at Lick Your Eyeballs and Cindy at Reptile Mania. So some reasons that I feel like this is an issue: because I want my girlfriend to be involved, because I want my niece to be involved, because there's not enough people in the reptile industry in the first place. There's not enough people discovering new species of reptiles. More diversity equals better results. And women bring a lot to the table. So it's like, for example, Jiganthan Vijaya is the first woman herpetologist in India. And she is responsible for basically risking her life to go out and photograph these turtle meat farms. And they were like, it's like a turtle meat trade industry. She went to these places and was photographing just the horrifying events that were taking place and the abuse of these turtles, and got the Prime Minister of India's attention with these photos. And they were able to outlaw the sale of turtle meat. And basically she saved like thousands of species of turtles and tortoises in India. So shouts out to Jiganthan Vijaya. And then also Rebecca M. Bruner is the lady that discovered the glass frogs we talked about recently in episode 10. She's a herpetologist in Ecuador, taxonomist, and working with discovering new species and describing those frogs. She just did the glass frog experiment with the mashpee and the nouns glass frogs and discovered the new species. So shouts out to Rebecca Bruner and Jiganthan Vijaya. So my advice: stop judging the other people. if you consider yourself to be a more experienced keeper, don't be an asshole about it. You're not better than everybody else. We're all on the same path, and some people are going to learn faster than other people. Some people are going to learn slower than other people. Some people don't freaking care as much as other people. Some people care a lot more. So don't judge other people. Be nice to them. Be respectful to the inexperienced keepers. Don't act like you're better than someone else. And we can talk about the problem of the lack of women in our field and the issue with misogyny with our peers. That will be very helpful. You can share this video or other information like the links in the bio, or there's a lot of stuff on Instagram that you can share. Something that I can do is like repost these. If you support women, repost this. I'm watching, stuff like that. You can literally just repost that, and like sometimes it's like a little bit helpful, like for the women to see that and be like, oh, not everybody is an asshole, you know? Just be nice and don't be weird, and don't think that being nice will get you any brownie points, because everybody's going to be nice, and that's what we all should be doing. It's just being nice. So with that, this is going to be, dude, like I keep saying, we're going to have a part 2 very soon for this exact episode. It's going to be part 2 of misogyny in the reptile industry. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the help with the episode. Still got a little bit more we're going to talk about. I've got a joke for you. And here it is. What reptile got hired for security? Are you ready? A garter snake. So recently, dude, some bad stuff in the news, man. I decided we're not going to talk about this story. Otherwise, we have this good happy story about a sea turtle that was rescued. There was about 29 turtles that were stranded and cold stunned in Cape Cod last November, so like 2021 November. Since then, they were able to release 15 of them into the ocean, but a bunch of them just haven't really, they're still like rehabilitating them. This one in particular, named Bassoon, has mitosis of the jaw muscles. And so they were using IV nutrition to keep him like from getting too small, skinny, or hungry. And what they ended up doing was acupuncture treatments over a course of weeks. These people would come and stick these needles, like, you know, acupuncturists, they're doing acupuncture on a friggin' sea turtle over the course of a few weeks. And now Bassoon is doing a lot better. He's very happy, and he can move his jaw, and he can eat. So they're going to release him to the ocean sometime soon. And round of applause for Bassoon, getting well on his own time with some acupuncture. I had no idea that they did acupuncture for reptiles, or that was even a thing. Apparently they've done it with other lizards and snakes in the past, but I thought that was freaking crazy. I've never seen, dude, turtle acupuncture? The hell? Last but not least, this is the last information for our episode today. It's rattlesnake season, and rattlesnakes are most active from April to October. I just heard a story about a woman that was, one of my mom's friends was out hiking and just came across a ton of baby rattlesnakes. So if you do want to see rattlesnakes, go out and be careful. But if you don't want to see rattlesnakes, what you should do is make sure that you hike with a friend, stay on the trail, stick to wider trails, rodent-proof your house. Maybe you're just hanging out. I don't know if you got rats or not, but if you do, then you might have snakes too. So When you're hiking, don't listen to music because you're going to want to hear a rattle. And that's going to be the sign of a rattlesnake, you know? So don't listen to music. If you do see a snake and you don't want to see it, just make sure you leave it alone. You don't need to kill it. It's literally a misdemeanor if you kill a snake for no reason. So it's illegal. You don't want to cause a crime or be a criminal. We already talked about criminals. So don't kill the snake. What you should do is call a snake removal person, which is like you could just Google snake guy or something like that, and they'll come get it. And it's relatively cheap, animal control, or even like just call freaking 911. If you do mess with the snake, there's a higher chance of you getting bit. A lot of the bites from rattlesnakes happen on people's hands because they're messing with them. And they're very fast. So just leave it alone. Stay at least 6 feet away. And if you do get bit, make sure you relax. Call for help. Maybe have somebody else go get the help that you need rather than running away to go do it, because it'll raise your heart rate, get your blood pumping. Don't elevate your bite wound. Don't try and suck it out. First step is call 911 and tell them you got bit by a snake. And then maybe if you know the snake, you can tell them what snake. Because not every hospital has the right antivenom. So you're going to need to go to the right hospital that has the right antivenom for the snake that you got bit, which is going to be a problem when you just show up to the ER with a snake bite and they don't have it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't kill the snakes. Snakes are important. They're out here. Listen for the hissing. Listen for the hissing. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. Sorry this episode was late. We'll be back again next week with a good one.
What's it? I want to color.
What do you want to color? Look, can you see yourself?
Yeah.
So do you want to see this turtle right here?
Yeah.
What do you think about him?
I want to name him Butt Cheek.
You want to name him Butt Cheek?
Yeah.
Why?
Hi, Butt Cheek.
Why are we calling him Butt Cheek?
Because I don't like it. Because I don't call him Butt Cheek.
Because you don't like him?
Yeah.
I thought you liked him.
No, I want to call him Butt Cheek. Hi, Uncle Trent.
Hi, Uncle Butt Cheek.
No. Dad, we had a deal. Dad, we had a deal.
Do you want this
Dad,
one?
we had a deal.
What kind of deal did you make with your dad?
No, Dad, Casey.
Yeah, but what kind of deal did you make with Jason?
Dad, we had a deal.
What kind of deal did you make?
We made a turtle deal.
A turtle deal?
Yeah.
Was he gonna give you a turtle?
No. Dad, we had a deal.
Do you know what kind of gecko this is?
No.
Yeah, you do. It's a leopard gecko. Do you want to hold it?
No. Dad, we had a deal.
What kind of deal did you make?
I already told you.
A turtle deal.
Yeah.
What kind of turtle deal?
I don't know.
You want to see another animal?
No. You can, Uncle Trent.
I don't know if I can, Uncle Brooklyn.
Do it. No, my watch. No, mine. Give it back. Uncle Trent, you put it on me. Dad, we had a deal.
A turtle deal, right?
No.
Then what kind of deal was it?
Nothing.
I thought it was a turtle deal.
No.
Do you like reptiles, Brooklyn?
No. That's the nose. You're rude.
Is that me?
Yeah. That's your hands stick together with some glue. That's your other hand stick together with...
Hey.
That's you.
What happened to me?
That you're rude, so we did that.
Can you draw a snake?
No. Not sure that I can.
I think you can. Hey. Is that a snake?
Yeah.
Nice. What do you think about the lizard?
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to name him?
The cheek.
Butt Cheek?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't like it.
Because you don't like him.
No.
Oh, what's that? Is that Homer Simpson? Turtle. This is way cooler, huh? Yeah, you can touch him. Yeah, he's very cool. Can I touch him? Can he touch you? No? It's okay, it's okay. It's a gecko. Say gecko? Yeah. She's pretty, huh? She's pretty like you. She's nice. You touch her? Good job, baby. It's a turtle. That's the turtle. Do you want to see another animal? Yeah? Oh, you want to keep touching the gecko? She's got a funny tail, huh? Funny little feet. Can we put her back? Yeah? What do you think, baby? Yeah. He's funny, huh? That's a snake. Snake. Here's a bearded dragon. Yeah, there you go. Good job. Yeah, you know how to pet her. Yeah. She's big, huh? She's a big belly. See the snake over there? Yeah. It's okay. I know. I know she's right here. She's okay. I'm not afraid. I know. Yeah, it's okay. She's nice. She's nice. She's okay. It's over there, baby. The turtle again. Oh, it's the toy. Turtle, gecko. Can you say gecko? Gecko. 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 Can you say gecko? There you go. Good job. Which one of these is your favorite? Which one of these do you like the best? The snake? Hi. Say hi. She's pokey. That's a pretty snake, huh? Gecko? Gecko? Down. Yeah? You want to go back inside now? Yeah? You want to say goodbye? Say bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, gecko. Bye-bye, snake. Bye, turtle. Okay? You want to get some food?